Okay, so we just finished this galaxy, but right now it looks super plain. So I know I'm going to build the ultimate end mega base. This is definitely one of the biggest and most insane projects I've ever done, requiring hundreds of thousands of blocks and over 120 hours of work. If you enjoy the video, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. I also just opened up a brand new shop with some limited time merch. Link is in the description if you're interested. I think the best way to build this project will be to break it down into smaller steps. I'd like to first begin with finding the shape of this build. And I think we're going to use stone because it's going to match the color palette that I'm going to want. So let's begin with building a stone farm. This stone farm by Ilmango is super overkill, but it makes 72,000 stone per hour. Let's get started with collecting all the items required. We're gonna need over 13,000 obsidian, but fortunately, because we removed all the obsidian pillars in the last episode, I'm pretty sure we have enough. Next, some glass, observers, powered rails, concrete, pistons, sticky pistons, as well as a bunch of other random items. Hold up, we're gonna need some iron for a beacon. Yeah, we're all out of iron. This is my iron farm that, let's just say, is a little OP. Now I could just AFK here, but I heard that by building chunk loaders at the farm, it's gonna produce iron even when we're not here. I'd like to at least try it out, so that means we're gonna need to get some more items. And then we need to just build these loaders. Now, the tricky thing is that these portals have to be spaced the perfect distance apart so that they link properly. Moment of truth. That didn't work. Okay, what about now? I'm actually kind of surprised I was able to get these to work. Let's just block these portals off to make sure the iron stays in the portals. I'm curious if this is actually producing iron with us not being there. I'm gonna need to wait a few minutes and see. In the meanwhile, we can actually begin with building the stone farm. Oh geez, 13,000 obsidian. I don't think I've ever had to light this many portals before. Wait a minute, I don't want to go through. Okay, now we need to build the main part of the farm. I think I missed a couple of portals. Wait a minute, this is really bad. Oh my gosh, I just logged out. I think because I went through the portals, they linked to the iron farm portals, and I blocked those off. Zombie pigmen are coming through the portals, and I'm pretty sure I'm taking entity cramming damage. What the heck do I do? I'm gonna take a break and try to figure something out. Alright, I might have a solution. There's a feature that whenever you log into your world, you get about 2 seconds of invincibility. I'm hoping that I can log in, hit the zombie pigmen once, and then log out again. We'll keep repeating that until all of them are dead. Well then, time to try it for real. Logging in, alright, hit them. Log out, okay, good, good. Again, come on. Yes, they're all dead. Okay. That's probably the closest I've ever come to dying in this world. Well then, now that this farm is done, let's AFK here for a couple of hours to get all the stone we'll need. It's been a while, but I think the farm partially broke because there should definitely be a lot more stone than there is. I'm gonna ignore that for now and just get building. All right, so we have the epic galaxy down there. I'd like to put the ship somewhere up top, so let's first find the correct height of this. Now I want to build out to each of these end portal gateways. Sorry to the people who are OCD that these portals aren't perfect. Why is this one lined up correctly? I guess it doesn't really matter because you won't see these portals once we're done. Okay, now that we have a basic plus shape, I'm gonna use a Minecraft circle generator to connect these edges. 7, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 5 twos. That's one circle done, 3 to go. And just like that, they're all done. The idea is that there will be a couple of rings around this center part of the mega base. Next, I want to add some arches and walkways. We'll make 2 walkways connecting to the rings on each of the sides. Next, I want to create some simple circles to show the height of each part of the build. I think we have a good basic idea of the height, although I thought it would be really cool to add some spike shapes around each of the sides. I want to first get a slope of the spikes, so I don't really like that. What if we make the sides flat? Okay, that certainly looks better, although I am now completely out of stone. So it's time to AFK at the stone farm. I think something's broken here. Oh wait, looks like we're missing water. No. Everything's fine. Now that we have a ton of stone, I think we should start filling each of these rings in. This is literally going to require tens of thousands of stone blocks. I've spent a while building up this first ring, and a problem I've noticed is these guys. They just keep getting in my way and are overall just annoying. I already did some research on ways to get rid of them. I found that I could mob-proof everything with carpets or string, but honestly, that would just take way too long. The other thing I found is that I could build a mob switch here in the end. And honestly, I think a mob switch is our best bet because it's a lot easier. I think what we can do is create a chamber/pit right here in the middle. Okay, now to make a mob switch, we need to get 70 villagers in here. Although as crazy as that sounds, I don't think it's going to be too difficult, mainly due to the fact that over here at our iron farm, we already have most of the villagers required. Now we're going to need to find the closest end portal to here. It seems like the closest portal is about 700 blocks away. So now we're going to need to set up a railway for moving all of the villagers. That's the frame of the railway. We can't just move the villagers until we have somewhere for them to stay once they arrive. So... and this should work. Because of the activator rails, the villagers should get bumped into the water holding cell. Then I guess we just need to move all the villagers here. First minecart, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here they come. Perfect. All of the villagers just got here. Now I just need to individually take these villagers out. And then once it becomes a Fletcher, I just need to trade once and then push the villager into the portal. Now you need to get on the rail. There he goes. And now get into the water, please. This is quite tragic, but it's for the greater good. Okay, I'm just gonna need to repeat this 70 more times until all of the villagers are in here. And I ran out of villagers. I'm gonna have to AFK overnight and wait for some more. This should be it for all of the villagers. Now look around, there are no Endermen. This mob switch is kind of overkill, but hey, it's definitely pretty cool. Now that we don't have any Endermen getting in our way, I guess we gotta get back to finishing this ring. And that should be it for the second ring. Finally, we just need to fill out these tunnels. Now I'd like to get back to these spikes and add some depth. So I'm thinking what we do is add some diagonal lines to the top. And I really have to pay attention here because this pattern is not easy to follow. Well, that kind of works, but I think I have a better idea. What if instead of doing diagonal lines, we make them flat? I think this is definitely going to look better, but the only way to really tell is to finish this spike completely. Okay, yeah, that looks really good. That means it's now got to be repeated 3 more times on the top and a couple on the bottom. And there we are, the final spike is completed. I now want to do something that relates to these guys here. If you remember from the last video, we got 4 immortal crystals before removing the entire end island. Basically, these crystals will stay here forever while also keeping their laser beams. Oh yeah, the cool part is that these don't explode when you hit them. So what I'd like to do is build a rectangular tower on each of these corners to basically hold the immortal crystals. So... there's one final thing I want to do, and that's to make the center part. I think we should first extend these rings upwards a little. Now, if we move this circle inwards a tiny bit and do the same, now we just need to do the lower part, and that should be it for the entire shape of the build. I just want to take a second to admire how epic this looks already. I mean, this is just the shape. Imagine what it will look like once all the detailing is finished. To begin the detailing, I want to add a basic outline to the entire ship. And to make this outline, we're going to use a ton of black concrete. And that should work fine for now. It's nothing crazy, but by just adding the concrete, it's definitely looking much cooler. Before we do any more detailing, I want to deal with these immortal crystals. Basically, we need to get them to each of the 4 corners. I think if we use flying machines, it shouldn't be too difficult. Let's quickly collect the materials for the flying machines. If we build the first one of these machines, and then set up the area to stop the machine, then we just need to activate the machine and hope it works. There it goes. And is it gonna stop? No! Then let's just use some pistons and do the last couple of blocks. That should be the first one. I guess it needs to be repeated 3 more times. This is the second one in position. There's the third, and finally the fourth. I wanted to leave this part a surprise, but don't you think those laser beams are a little basic? I spent a while creating a custom texture pack, and what do you think of it? Honestly, this looks awesome. Oh my gosh, that's kind of sickening. Now, because these laser beams can go through blocks, I thought it'd be cool to put an orb surrounding them made out of lapis and glass. Let's just start with coming up with the shape. Why is this happening? That looks pretty good. Right now, these lasers are kind of just pointing to nothing. What I'm gonna do is quickly build up an energy bar in the middle. Let's also place some glass panes around this to make it feel more random. And that should be everything we need for the center. And honestly, I think we're in a pretty good spot to begin decorating the rest of this. I was thinking that it would first be really cool to add some massive lights on all 4 of these sides, using a bunch of concrete, sea lanterns, and glass. I guess that means I need to actually collect those. Geez, sea lanterns are expensive. What would I do without this concrete converter? To begin with these lights, we're gonna first need to mine a lot of stone away. And then I suppose we need to build it. That actually looks really good. So we're gonna need to repeat it 7 more times. Those are all looking really cool. The unfortunate part is that because of how cool these are, I need to do it to the rest of the ship. I've spent over 10 hours on these lights, and I definitely need a break. I had a cool idea. What if we add cannons to this end hub / spaceship? If you've ever seen a space movie, that's one thing that's pretty common on spaceships, is that they have these like epic cannon looking weapons. So let's build them on our ship. I have an interesting block palette for this, but the only way to know if it's gonna look good will be to build it. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. While we're working on the second cannon, I want to mention that I'm only designing a quarter of this at once, and then after it's finished, we'll copy it to the other 3 sides. I'm looking at this outer wall right now, and I'm thinking how plain it is. First of all, I think we should remove it completely. Next, I'd like to replace it with a mixture of concrete wool, concrete powder, and iron blocks. We are going to need several thousand of each block. Okay, that should be enough white concrete, white wool, and this powder. As for the iron, I really hope that the iron farm has been running this entire time. Oh my gosh. We have way more than enough. If those are all the blocks we have, then I just need to get building. My mouse has a feature on it that allows me to scroll it really fast, so I'm gonna be using that to randomize all of the blocks. This is looking quite random. I mean, that was the goal. It's definitely getting there. Maybe if I add some concrete bumps around this side. That seriously made it look 1,000 times better. That was definitely the hardest part of this entire build, so I am so glad that we're done with it. Oh boy, was I wrong. Just wait to see how I literally wasted 15 hours of my life to build something that didn't even work. So I was wondering what sort of thing we could do to make this top part look better. And I think adding smooth quartz blocks around this entire area would look really good. Now, unfortunately, these are some of the hardest blocks in the game to collect, and we would literally need thousands of them. I'm pretty sure that villagers actually sell quartz blocks, right? They only sell 12 at a time. That means we'll be getting 540 quartz every day. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it. I guess our next option would be to try something called void trading. To do void trading, we're gonna need to get another villager into the end, which shouldn't be too hard, assuming we have extra villagers from the mob switch. There is one extra villager. That's actually so perfect. That should be everything. Now we just need to use the void trader. The way this works is actually really cool. If you open up a villager's trading as you go through the portal, we can then buy the quartz. And when we return, the villager still has his trades without them being sold out. If we just use this void trading a few hundred times, then we should have enough quartz pretty quickly. Hold up, I think I can make this slightly faster if I move the villager closer. No! Why did he go through? Okay, buddy, please just go back. Now, please just land in the water. No! So the void trading is not going to work. The third way we can get a bunch of quartz is by trading with piglins. The quartz can then be crafted into blocks. Now the only issue with this method is that to get enough quartz, it would require a stupendous amount of gold. Me being the logical person I am, I decided to build an OP gold farm. So then we just need a disgusting amount of items to make it. I literally thought that I'd have enough obsidian to last me forever, but we're already out. Now we need 5,000 glass. Why one block of lime-stained glass? The weird thing about this farm is that we can't just build it. The location of it has to be perfect in order for it to work. So I'll have to build the farm perfectly on 4 chunks. Now, this next part is not going to be fun. It's time to place all of the obsidian. As we build these portals up, I need to make sure to light them. I feel like I'm getting deja vu or something. That is the first half of the farm. Before we do that side, I want to first place all of the glass up top. I'd like to also make sure that the overworld part is finished. And that should be it for all of the overworld. To finish this off, we need to just place the obsidian in the nether. Let's go! The farm is complete. If everything is working properly, then there should already be zombie pigmen coming through the portals. What the heck? This has got to be a joke. That is so many zombie pigmen. Okay then, I think to AFK here, we just need to use our sword on this armor stand. So then I'm going to AFK here for an hour and see how much gold I can get. It's been an hour, and just looking at everything, that's actually ridiculous. In the last episode, I built a pretty crazy piglin bartering farm, so we just need to go through all of the gold and collect all of the quartz. Is that seriously all of the gold? This is nowhere near fast enough. I think we're gonna go back to the first method of trading with villagers. Yes, I really did just spend 15 hours building a farm, only not to use it. Now we only have about 15 mason villagers in here, so I think to get the quartz a lot faster, we'll just have to get a lot more of these villagers. Now I know a while back I built a villager breeder up here. Is it still working? Looks like it is. That's good. Then let's just move all these villagers into the trading hall. I've been doing this for about an hour and we already have about 45 mason villagers. That's probably good enough for now. Next up, these guys need to be traded with so that I can unlock the quartz trade. And then I'm just gonna need to spend a couple of days trading with these guys until we can get enough of the blocks. Even though I literally have millions of emeralds, it's still annoying when these guys mark up their prices. Now that we have all the quartz, we'll need to use this super smelter to make it all smooth. That should be all of it cooked up. Now to actually build this, I first want to remove all of the stone. Now to just replace it with the quartz. Oh my, that actually looks so good. I'm gonna quickly repeat this pattern, and at the same time, I'm gonna just try to finish this first quarter of the ship. And that should be all of it. I've officially finished the first quarter of the ship. It's honestly kind of surreal. Anyways, now I have to repeat this 3 more times to the rest of the ship. And here we are, the last blocks. This was one of the most insane projects I've ever done. In total, there were just over 200,000 blocks in this ship. As for what I'm going to put on the inside of this, it's going to be something that you've never seen before, and it's going to be ridiculous. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. These portals not being lined up is seriously starting to bother me. I think I need to destroy the entire ship and rebuild it one block over. Here we go then.